Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here, in this verse, in these following verses, different days of Brahma are described. So we all know every day of Brahma is called as Kalpa. We are at present living in that one day of Brahma. In one day of Brahma itself, 14 Manus appear. We are in that 7th Manu, Vaivasvata Manu. So, each day of Brahma is called by different name. It's like we say Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Navami. These are all different names of a day in a month, correct? Narsimha Chaturdashi, like that. So likewise, Brahma's days are also mentioned by different names. So just like we also have around 30 days, so there are 30 days in a month of Brahma also. Those names are described in the Vedas in Prabhasa Khanda of Skanda Purana. I'll just read few of them. What are the different names of Kalpas, 30 Kalpas of Brahma? Shveta Kalpa, Neela Lohita, Vamadeva, Gathantara, Raurava, Prana, Brahatkalpa, Kandarpa, Sadhyota, Ishana, Dhyana, Saraswata, Udana, Garuda, Korma, Narasimha, Samadhi, Agneya, Vishnuja, Saura, Somakalpa, Bhavana, Supuma, Vaikuntha, Archisha, Valikalpa, Vairaja, Gaurikalpa, Maheshwara, Petrakalpa. So like that, every Kalpa of Brahma, every day of Brahma in a month is called by different name. The present Kalpa of Brahma, it is called as Brahma Kalpa or Varaha Kalpa, Shvet Varaha Kalpa. Two reasons. One being that Prabhupada says this is the first birthday. Not first birthday, it's a birthday. Just like every year we celebrate our birthday. So, whenever Shweta Varaha Kalpa comes after an year, that is when Brahma's 1 year is over. That is his birthday. Because at the time of Brahma's birth, Prabhupada says 3 things happened. From the lotus, from the navel of Lord Vishnu, that stem sprouted. because that Padma, that lotus sprouted, that Kalpa, that day of Brahma is also called as Padma Kalpa. Because Brahma was born on that lotus, it is also called Brahma Kalpa. Simultaneously, because Lord Varaha also appeared on the same day, it is called Shveta Varaha Kalpa. So, the same Kalpa may be called by different names. So, Prabhupada is saying that for a layman it may look little bit confusing. Somewhere the same Kalpa is called Padma Kalpa, somewhere it is called Shveta Varaha Kalpa, isn't it? So, layman may become confused, but actually there is no such confusion. We have to go by what the Vedic literatures are saying. So sometimes there may appear to be contradiction in the Vedic literatures, but actually there is no such contradiction. Contradiction is because of our insufficient knowledge. Otherwise, there is no such contradiction. Actually, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all contradictions are resolved. In the material world, we find certain things appear to be logical and many things appears to be illogical. Whatever is, sometimes we find descriptions given in the Vedic literatures. If it is not conceivable to us, we think that this is illogical. If it is conceivable to us, we think it is logical. So certain things are very inconceivable to us. Say for example, we have all heard about salt water ocean. Right? The ocean is all filled with salt. So much salt is there in that you cannot actually drink that water at all. Suppose you are traveling by sea, sometimes people die out of thirst. Just imagine, so much water is available there, but he cannot drink that water. By that the thirst doesn't go away. So salt water ocean we have heard about. So many oceans are there. Practically more than half of the earth is only water. So this ocean on earth planet, we find it is filled with salt. Now, we have never seen what exists beyond this universe, in other universe, or even in this universe, in other planet what exists, we have no idea. In Shveta Dvipa what exists, we have no idea. The Lord is lying down on Garbhodaka ocean within this universe. We cannot perceive, we cannot imagine. The Lord is lying down on Kshirodaka ocean, we have no idea. So even in this universe, there is ocean of milk we cannot conceive. Can we conceive? So we can only think about that even if there is an ocean present in any other planet, we will think it will be also ocean of water. Vedic literature says there is ocean of liquor, there is ocean of nectar, there is ocean of milk. So all these things are very inconceivable to us. It is very difficult for us to comprehend. And generally what we are not able to comprehend, we try to think it is illogical, it is some fantasy, it is some stories. We think like that. Just like the scientist cannot believe that actually there can be a bridge which can be built on the ocean. They cannot understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all contradictions come to an end. When we put even one small pebble, forget about big boulders, big stones, it will sink in the water. And by the arrangement of the Lord, the same boulders, big boulders, they were floating on water. You see, the Lord did not put up some pillars there, then made some concrete, and then the bridge was built. isn't it? First of all, to build something in the ocean itself is a Herculean task, isn't it? So just by the arrangement of the Lord, all those different boulders, they were able to float on the ocean. So it looks very contradictory. How the law of gravitation did not work, isn't it? According to the law of gravitation, anything, if you put in that water, it should sink. Provided there is some other force, buoyancy force, or some force which counteracts it, by which this force is nullified, then it can float. Just like other ships, they are also made up of metal. But it is made in such a way that there is some other forces like buoyancy forces, which counteracts the force of gravitation, by which the ship is floating. But no such arrangement was done by the Lord in that. Simply by the arrangement of the Lord, by the will of the Lord, that gravitational force did not work. So certain things which may appear to be contradictory, all those contradictory things, they can find complete resolution only in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should not go by our method of acquiring knowledge, and whatever knowledge we cannot acquire, if we start thinking that does not exist or that is illogical, actually it is not proper understanding. So that's how Prabhupada used to give that example of Koop Mandu Kanyaya, isn't it? This is a proper understanding. Just to give us an understanding about that when certain contradictory things appears in the Vedic literature, we try to see it through our viewpoint. And that is the whole problem. We try to Atmanam Manyate Jagat. We try to see the whole world as I want to see, not as the world it is. How I have learned to perceive, we try to perceive the whole world. Not only in reality, even otherwise also. Philosophically also we perceive the world as we have learned to perceive. Through our senses, through our environment, through conditions we have been brought up. That is how we perceive the world. For some people, the world is a very happy place to live. For some people who have perceived only pain in their life, they are thinking, what happiness is there in this world? It is only filled with miseries. So, the different kinds of perceptions we have formed through the different circumstances, through different knowledge what we have acquired, all these things is how our world view is formed. So Prabhupada gives that example of the viewpoint of the frog in the well. What is his viewpoint? So the frog, he was living in the well for his whole lifetime, and whole lifetime he had never seen anything else. Beyond the walls of that well, he had no idea what exists. So once a frog came from outside of the well, who had the experience of a big ocean, and it came down to the well. And this frog, which had the experience of a big ocean, started explaining to that well, the frog in the well, about the vastness of the ocean. And this frog in the well could not imagine. It started, expanding its body and saying, this much big? Ocean is this much big? You see? Because it cannot imagine. And finally it burst. Because it cannot imagine more bigger than that. So similarly, we, with our limited understanding, with our limited knowledge, we try to understand about even this universe itself is so difficult for us to understand. Just like one of the scientists, I think it was Newton or it was Einstein. The other day we were hearing in the class He says, what is my knowledge? No, he's given Nobel Prize for whatever he has discovered or whatever knowledge. He says, my knowledge is like the pebbles on the seashore. You see, it's just like few pebbles on the seashore. In front of the vastness of real knowledge, the knowledge is like pebbles. That is what he says. So actually, with our limited senses, with our limited understanding, how much we can understand? Vedic literature says, even if the science develops to the point where we can start traveling with the speed of mind. In today's conversation of Prabhupada we were reading, Prabhupada is saying, the mind, just by willing, we can be at one place. If I wish I am in Delhi, immediately I can imagine what is Delhi. Imagine, my mind can be immediately in Delhi. That is the speed of mind. So Vedic literatures are saying, even if great scientists, great yogis are able to develop the speed of mind, they can make some instrument with the speed of mind and they start moving towards spiritual world. Still, they will not be able to conceive the spiritual world. You see? So you can just imagine what is the vastness of this material world itself. To cross over this material world and enter into the spiritual world is not possible even with the speed of mind, because nothing matter, nothing which is conceived with matter, you can conceive spirit. It is not possible. Spirit and matter is completely different. They are completely opposite to each other. So that is what we have to understand. So Prabhupada is saying, it may appear to be little contradictory. Some acharyas have given some explanation, then some other acharya may have given another perspective to the same explanation, and it may look little contradictory to us. One acharya is saying like this, another acharya is saying little different from that. So how do we understand? So like Prabhupada is saying here, the verse is saying something, but the acharyas are saying little different. The different millennium known as Brahma, Padma, Varaha, Kalpa appear a little puzzling for the layman. Because here, as we saw, the great acharyas have said they are all one and the same kalpas. In the same kalpa, Brahma appeared. In the same kalpa, Padma it is called. Why? Because it was from the navel of the Lord that Padma, that lotus was born. So it is the same. Brahma Kalpa is also called Padma Kalpa. It is also called Varaha Kalpa. Why? Because in the same Kalpa, Lord Varahadev also appeared. So, Prabhupada is saying there are some scholars who think these Kalpas to be one and the same. Who are those scholars? According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, the Brahma Kalpa in the beginning of the first half appears to be Padma Kalpa. So, he's saying it is the same. Brahma Kalpa is the same as Padma Kalpa. We can, however, simply abide by the text and understand that the present millennium is in the second half of the duration of the life of Brahma. Whereas in the verse, as it appears from the verse, it is looking like that this Kalpa, it is in the second half of life of Brahma, not in the birth half of Brahma. Here, the Padma Kalpa, which is mentioned, it is looking like it is in the second half. Because in the verse it is saying like that. Dvitiyayasya api bharata. In the second half of Brahma's life, this Padma Kalpa is being talked about. So, it may look little contradictory to us, but actually there is no such contradiction. Because it's a different viewpoint. There are multi-dimensions in spiritual understanding. The same topic can be understood from different angles by different acharyas. So actually speaking, the contradiction appears to us. Why the contradiction appears to us is because of insufficient knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is how it appears. So, in Bhagavatam, these kalpas are very beautifully described. What is kalpa? What is mahakalpa? What is vikalpa? All these things are very beautifully described in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there, Prabhupada explains these different kinds of creations. The creations which happens in a day of Brahma is called as kalpa. And that kalpa is named by different things. Because of some circumstances appearing, that kalpa may be called as Brahma kalpa, Padma kalpa, Varaha kalpa. According to different situations, the kalpa may be given different name. But generally, what is the meaning of a kalpa? It is a day of Brahma is called as kalpa. So what happens in the day of Brahma? What happens in the day of Brahma? Different creations happen, right? We are seeing Manus are created, 14 Manus will be created in a day of Brahma. All different creations happens in the day of Brahma. What happens in the night of Brahma? Brahma goes to sleep. So there is a partial dissolution which happens at the night of Brahma. This is called as kalpa. Understood? Anybody knows what is called as mahakalpa? What is vikalpa? Okay, let us go first from kalpa. We have understood. Kalpa is all creations happening in the day of Brahma is called kalpa. All creations happening in the day of Brahma is called kalpa. What all happens at that time? Planets are created, living entities are created, right? So these are all coming under kalpa. What is vikalpa? Anyone? We have already studied that in second canto. Creation of Brahma, creation of Brahma himself, that is called as vikalpa. What is mahakalpa? Creation of all material universes from Mahavishnu in his breathing period is called Mahakalpa. So just imagine, very simple. What is Mahakalpa? When Mahavishnu is breathing out and breathing in, that period is called Mahakalpa. In that breathing out of universes, the universes are existing. At that time, Brahma is created. That is called Vikalpa. And then, when Brahma is created, Brahma further, in his day, he starts some creation, secondary creations. That is called Kalpa. So, creation by Mahavishnu is Mahakalpa. Creation of Brahma by the Lord, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is Vikalpa. Creation by Brahma in his day is called as Kalpa. So this is how this subject matter of time, duration, different time durations, according to what we can understand, is being described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, what exists that we will be seeing in the next shloka, it will be very beautifully described. What is Brahma's life? Brahma's life exists only till breathing period of Mahavishnu. That great life of Brahma, it is nothing but breathing period of Mahavishnu. The moment Mahavishnu is breathing out, Brahma is existing, and when Mahavishnu breathes in, Brahma is dead and gone. This is all chapter closes for Brahma's life just by the breathing period of Mahavishnu. So, Prabhupada explains that actually in this kalpa where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared is a golden age. Even though this is Kali Yuga, the worst of the 4 yugas, where dharma has reduced to 1/4. But even in this yuga, even in this kalpa and this particular yuga of Kali Yuga, we are very, very fortunate that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared just 500 years back. At the beginning of Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. And this age, from past 500 years to around 10,000 years, Prabhupada says is called golden age. It's a golden period, wherein we can take advantage of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. This gift will not be available in other days, in other yugas. Forget about in other kalpas. So what we have got, the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Prema Pumartho Mahan, the greatest gift of love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making it available to us. And we are very, very fortunate in that sense that we have appeared in the same Kali Yuga, because there are many, many Kali Yugas. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not appear in every Kali Yuga. We should understand that. It's not in every Kali Yuga that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. It's in one day of Brahma, Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear. In one day of Brahma, many, many Kali Yuga go and many go and go away. In one of those Kali Yugas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears and Krishna appears. In that Kali Yuga, we are present. That we should understand. So definitely we are very, very fortunate. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us that how, by following in the footsteps, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us the highest method of realizing Krishna by following in the footsteps of gopis. And how gopis serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in what bhava they serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was personally demonstrated by the 6 Goswamis. Prabhupada, in one very interesting incident, he also demonstrated the mood of the 6 Goswamis, the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the mood of gopis, how to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In what mood we should be worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So once it so happened, Prabhupada, when he came to India after establishing many centers in the Western countries, and he wanted to establish big temples in India, so he was looking out for land in Bombay. Then in Vrindavan already the temple was coming up. So that time, Prabhupada, he came to Chennai. So in Chennai, Prabhupada was preaching Krishna consciousness. And he came across many, many scholars. Some of them were criticizing that Prabhupada is diluting our Sanatana Dharma by giving this, making Brahmanas from Shudras. So like that, some things were there. So one very big, I think it was a lawyer. His name was, no, it's not a lawyer. He was a Chief Justice. His name was Veeraswamy. He was a Tamilian, Veeraswamy. So that Chief Justice, he became a good friend of Prabhupada. So he started coming and meeting devotees. Now and then he would come and meet Prabhupada at that time. So he was very much, affected especially by one very young devotee, Saraswati, who was just around 3 years old at that time. So whenever he used to come, he used to meet that young devotee Saraswati. Saraswati was quite famous at that time. So once it so happened, he brought one costly silver Krishna's murti, small, around 7 to 8 inches, and it was pure silver, Krishna's murti, and he gave it to Saraswati. So Saraswati used to play with that Krishna. But then when Prabhupada came to know that such a costly murti has been handed over to Saraswati, and he knew that if I just take away like that, Saraswati will be in disaster. She has become so attached to that murti already. But also Prabhupada wanted that, it is very costly, it is in the hand of Saraswati. If it is lost, it's very valuable. Thousands of rupees at that time. So, Prabhupada somehow took away that murti from the hands of Saraswati and hid it somewhere. And then that Veeraswamy came to see Prabhupada, and he asked Saraswati, so where is your Krishna? Where is your Krishna had given you? So then Saraswati started searching for Krishna here and there. So then Prabhupada was also watching that Saraswati is searching now for Krishna. And then Prabhupada started joking. Prabhupada started saying, Saraswati, where is Krishna? Check up under the pillow whether he is under the pillow. So then Saraswati went and took the pillow and saw if Krishna is not there. Then Prabhupada said, maybe Krishna is in that almirah, in that shelf. Check up there. And she started going there. And after some time, she became very anxious, searching here and there. And then she is going. Some devotees are standing. She is going and seeing the back. Somebody is holding back hand like this. She is showing whether he is hiding my Krishna. So then, Prabhupada recited that verse in that Shad Goswami Ashtakam. He Radhe Vraj Gopikecha, He Nanda Suno Kutaha. So Prabhupada started reciting that verse, explaining about the moods of the Goswamis. He said, so he pointed out to Saraswati and he said, this was the mood of the 6 Goswamis when they were searching for Krishna. They never said, I have seen Krishna. They were always searching behind Krishna. Where is my Krishna? Whether he is in Govardhan, whether he is near Yamuna. So like that they were searching after Krishna. So Prabhupada said that was the mood of the 6 Goswamis. Then finally when devotees saw that, Saraswati has become very anxious and she is burst out in tears in search of Krishna, then finally they asked, so Saraswati, you know where is Krishna? Find out where is Krishna. So then Saraswati said, yes, Krishna is with Prabhupada. And actually everybody started laughing because actually it is a fact. And then Prabhupada very mysteriously from under his, somewhere he was hiding, then Prabhupada gave a similar looking murti. It was not exact that murti, similar looking murti to Saraswati. So just with this incident, Prabhupada, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally demonstrated, the 6 Goswamis demonstrated, so Prabhupada also practically demonstrated that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age not only just gave us Krishna Prema, he gave the demonstration personally how to search out for the Lord in that separation mood and how we can attain that Krishna Prema. So similarly, by following in the footsteps of Prabhupada and in the 6 Goswamis, we can understand the importance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, especially in this Kalpa, in this age, in this Kali Yuga, where he appeared. We can make the best use and try to go back to Godhead in this very lifetime. So we'll stop with this. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.